Hello everybody, so I hope you can hear me. I am basically at the ashram. I'm going to try very hard to get this uploaded, but the bandwidth isn't really massive, and also I'm trying to be quiet, so please bear with me. I've just got some really important messages. I wanted to give you a bit of an update and also say this might be the last kind of twin flamey kind of video that I make for a little while, just because time-wise I'm not going to have time to kind of make them separately. Plus, for the next 5 months, I'm going to be solely working on me. So I hope you guys can kind of understand that I'm doing this so that I can kind of offer more when I get back. And also, you might be able to see from this video that it's really important that people just think about themselves, in the sense that you have to fill your own cup. And now is a really, really important time, especially for divine feminines, to really turn all of their attention on themselves and on spirituality. So I'm going to do a quick few updates from before that I couldn't actually make, and then after that I'm going to basically try my best to sort of start doing some updates on how my journey is going, solely to do with the spirituality, and also you can really watch me transform. I'm just at such a special place. It's just so transformational, and literally the kind of quantum leaps that people kind of seem to be able to make here. I've done it before and I've never really documented it, so hopefully I will be able to do it now, and you guys are really lucky because you've kind of known me from before as well. Sorry, I'm sitting in the dark here because it's very early in the morning. It's about 4:30 in the morning, and after I do this, I'm going to try and keep it short to about 10 minutes, and then go off and start my practices, my processes that I'm going to be doing every morning. Okay, so maybe about like a week ago, I was about to nod off to sleep, and I got, I saw my twin again come to me in some kind of vision type thing. And because this was still very much in the phase when I was like, get away from me, I don't really want to see you right now. I don't want to have any, thoughts about you or anything. And they didn't used to come very often either, because like he wasn't really at the forefront of my mind for the first time ever, seemingly, or a very long time. But whenever I did have thoughts of him, I'd just kind of like immediately think of something else, or just like, just feel that sense of just really like not wanting to be around those thoughts even, or that energy, or his energy. And I was very resistant to it, but because I was really relaxed and I was about to go to sleep, I just kind of allowed it. And he said, this is what I've been afraid of. This is why I've been running. This is why I've always run. And what he meant by that, he was referring to the letter that I wrote. If you haven't read it, it's on my website, like with all the names and places and stuff taken out. So you're more than free to have a read of it. It's on my blog. Sorry, I'll put the link below. What he's afraid of was, basically, I saw that letter was all about me. I wasn't making him wrong or anything, but what I was doing is really cutting through all the BS in my life and really seeing me, really seeing me in a way that I hadn't before, or I felt like I hadn't before. And what he's afraid of is that it's now time that I saw him, and I wouldn't like what I saw. And that was something that he was really dreading, because it was part of the plan from before. It was all already arranged and agreed. He didn't like it, and because he didn't want me to see him. And that's why I got blocked. And he didn't just block me or, unfriend me or anything. It was literally like blocking. I couldn't see anything. And I was like, okay, that's fine. That's a little bit weird, but I didn't really know why he did it, because I wasn't really talking about him. But it was because he was afraid that I would see him. And I didn't understand at the time, because I didn't see him. And it was only maybe a little bit later that I really did start to see him. And guess what? I didn't like what I saw. And that's never, ever happened before. It was like that's why I believe that, the higher self programs us, our conscious selves as well. Because, the vast majority, if you listen to my videos, you'll remember I said before, the massive, 99% of, more than 99% of our brains are dealing with things that we are not conscious of, and our conscious lives are only like 1% or something. So a lot of things happen that we're not aware of, which is why yoga is so powerful, because it kind of sorts out your energies. It works on things that you're not kind of aware of, but it causes huge transformations and a lot of ease in your waking life, in your conscious life. So hopefully you guys will be able to see that transformation in me. I'm going to tell you about a transformation that happened to do with what I've just told you. Now, so when I got to the ashram, that feeling of just not wanting to be around him and not liking what I saw really intensified to, I would say, a real sense of disgust, absolute disgust. And I've never felt that for him before. It's always been, the overriding sense was always like, oh no, it was codependency. It was like wanting to be with him. But this time, no, it was kind of, I felt absolute disgust, like the repulsion I felt for this guy was just unbelievable. Like I was so angry, but angry at myself for wanting to be with someone who was such a seemingly, garbage kind of person. And I know this is sounding really personal, but that's how I was feeling at the time. And again, because when I was doing the videos in the UK, I didn't feel like that. I just thought, okay, like, it's unpleasant, but it's like whatever. I didn't really think about it. And it was like something got dredged up, and I was seeing it for the first time, and I was absolutely, I was quite shocked. I was really shocked at myself for wanting to stick with it for so long, and I was really shocked at what had actually happened, and I was actually seeing him and his actions and what he'd done. And I was absolutely, the word is disgusted. But I was like, oh my gosh, I've never felt like this before, so I'm not going to judge it. I'm just going to sit there and watch it, observe it, and see where it goes, see what happens. But I was, it was getting to a point where I was, that feeling of kind of disgust and anger was the prevalent feeling. And this was during a program with my guru was here for Guru Purnima on the 27th, the day of the eclipse. That was when it kind of like really intensified. The next 2 days were a program called The Lap of the Master, which was all about acceptance. It's called The Lap of the Master because, if you're in someone's lap, it's all about acceptance. And again, this reminded me of the twin because he was sleeping in my lap. And I was like, okay, that's funny. And then during this program, Lap of the Master, again, I was trying to forget this whole thing and just concentrate on me and my own spirituality. It was all about acceptance. The big thing we were told was to, all of those people from our past who annoy, and our present as well, who annoy us, and anything that kind of, annoys us, it tends to be in our awareness more. And we were asked to kind of accept it. I found this really difficult at this point, especially since, the main meditation that we were doing over the 2 days, which I ended up doing about 3 times, because I went to talks in different languages. It was to do with the infinity symbol. I'm not gonna say more about it because it's a very, it's a confidential process basically. But it was to do with the infinity symbol. And I'll do another video about the infinity symbol, which was discovered in India by yogis, as was zero actually. According to Indians, they'll all tell you that zero was invented and discovered here, I should say. But it's to do with the way that life energies move. So the symbol doesn't come from nothing, the infinity symbol. It's actually how life energies move. And that's what yogis discovered, that when they were in that state of being one with everything, that state of unboundness, that's how energies move. I'll try and find a video by Sadhguru on this and put it in the description box as well. But basically, we were just encouraged to to really kind of accept all the situations that made us angry, that made us feel sad, and not force ourselves to love them or anything. love these situations, but it kind of just, when that acceptance happens, they kind of disappear. Like the you know, the thoughts that might have been plaguing you, they'll disappear as well. But you just have to accept, you have to be with them. The first day, you know, I found this really, really, really difficult. And I didn't know what to do about it, because I was still finding them coming into my head, and I was still getting really angry about them. And if anything, they intensified even more. And I was like, oh my God, what is going on? But this is where the benefits, and I'm not saying everybody needs to have a guru or anything like that, but this is where, like, when you know an enlightened master, and when you are lucky enough to, you know, be able to accept them into your life, and they accept you into your life, into their life as well. And they, you know, we're lucky that there are people out there who are pretty much willing to accept anyone, who's willing to put in the work. And I'm genuinely willing to put in the work, and I will let myself do whatever and see the ugly parts of myself. And I literally, you know, the second day I went into this program, this 2-day program, and you know, he was like, oh, so how are your, you know, how's the acceptance going, basically? And everyone was like, yeah, we've done it, Sadhguru, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, it's a disaster, like, it's terrible. I feel like it's gotten worse. And he basically said, you know, this program is all about being in the lap of the master, and, you know, you have a master, and just pretend, and I'll take care of it, basically. And I was like, okay, so I'll pretend that I'm cool with all this stuff. And that's what I did for the rest of the day. And I'm not joking, I woke up the next day and it was like back to normal, but it was in a deeper sense, because I feel like before, maybe I was in denial about something, or I was unaware of something, like some kind of subconscious resentment was still there, and that kind of got pulled out. And that's essentially what happens during the process of purging that people refer to. So this is my experience of literally the benefits, one of the benefits of actually having a spiritual a Sadhguru, which I just thought I'd share with you. If it resonates, then cool. If not, then, you know, you can totally go by your own path as well, just whatever your guidance kind of is. But this is the benefit of having a live master. They can do certain energy things, basically, and that's kind of one experience. So I also wanted to quickly go back and mention some stuff to do with the twin flame thing. So many people, you know, remember what I said about, you know, them, what I said about my twin kind of being afraid of me seeing them for the first time, and that's why they hid and blocked and stuff. So I also want to go and say that that's part of, like, the ego death. It's completely inevitable, and also, like, you guys will be going through an ego death as well, just like I did. That was part of the purging process. But with the twins, like, especially if anyone's got blocked, it's basically that last gasp kind of ego, you know, going into an absolute panic because it knows that its time's almost up, so it wants to play around a bit. It wants to do whatever it's doing, what it's there to do, and you know, it kind of doesn't know what to do. So it's gone into a panic mode and an overdrive. And I was shown that it was kind of like, you know, when you watch horror movies and stuff, or when, you know, the bad guy gets shot and he looks like he's dead, and then he just comes back alive again and tries to, like, hurt the hero, whoever shot him, and, you know, frantically tries to do something, and then, you know, then they just kind of die for real. So that's kind of what was going on with them, and it's a process that has to kind of play out in its own way. But it's inevitable, and they're petrified of it because, you know, they identify with that so much. And so many of us kind of identify with our egos and our emotions. You know, I shouldn't say ego, it's more like our minds and our emotions more than we realise. And even with me, you know, that whole stuff coming up showed that, you know, it was still there, it was still trying to sort of be seen. So, sorry, I'm just reading my notes really quickly. So it's just about kind of what yoga does, and what my path does is it's about kind of giving yourself some space from the mind and emotions through meditation and through the practices that I do. So hopefully, if anyone's interested, I will be able to teach you some of these practices after my training. So Bear with me, sorry. Just reading my notes. It's really, really important for us to reach that kind of, try and reach that unbound state. It's all about also like not focusing on them and trying to heal them or anything like I've said before. It's all about focusing on you and trying to find a sense of joy, because when you're in that state of unboundness, when you've actually got yourself some distance from your mind and your emotions, like you will give yourself the space to feel that joy. It is possible to feel that peace, to feel that freedom. And now is definitely the time to work on yourself. Between now and the new year, the next kind of 6 months is a wonderful time. It's actually the time when, especially in the northern hemisphere, if you're there, and most people are, when the sun starts going south in the sky, and that's the time to go within. So please do really focus on your spiritual work, your spiritual processes. And it's all about finding that unity between the masculine and feminine sides of yourselves. The Ida and Pingala nadis, the Sushumna nadi as well, which can be seen as, the sun and the moon, the moon and the sun and the earth respectively. So also another reason, especially if you've been blocked as you really embark on a spiritual path, this is why. So on the one hand, the twin is absolutely petrified that, in terms of the ego, that you're not spiraling around, going round and round in this karmic wheel, this pointless wheel of kind of like, cycles, karmic cycles. You're just going straight ahead. You're trying to just find the truth. And that means ego death. And they're quite happy, they want to sit and play in the illusion. And that is why they are doing what they're doing. So have some, I want to almost say pity for them, some compassion, and also for yourself, and know that this is what's going on. And you have to be alone at this time, because you are literally, the higher self of the twin is not going to let you mess around and waste time anymore. They're like, no, this is time for you to really focus on spirituality, and that's what they have to do as well. They have to do their own work, but it's linked, so please do your work and find that union within yourself. And I definitely had to basically tell you guys this message right now, because it's really, really, really important. I'm literally so focused on just working on myself right now, and I didn't even want to make a twin flame video, but it looked like I had to. I'm going to be making videos from now on for the next 6 months about, and then after that I'll go back to the twin flame stuff and the readings and whatnot, but it's going to be focused on spiritual process, very much for this reason as well. I'll be saying all about I'll just be talking about yoga, and hopefully I've seen that just the way that people transform, like everyone that does this course is just like amazing. Their presence, their sense of balance and stability, and just I want to say power, but not in an egomaniacal way. It's like they just have a presence, rather than, when you think power, you think, oh yeah, someone with a huge ego. Completely the opposite of that. It's just this huge presence, but so much power because of that. It's amazing. So I want to share my journey, and if I can get anywhere near that, or whatever happens to me, you can totally see that too, because I've just experienced this amazing kind of breakthrough from going from a place where I thought I'm never gonna escape from these thoughts to, and I was really struggling with them. I was like, oh my god, the anger's back, and anger was the reason I started yoga and meditation, and it was back in such an intense way, and it's gone. So yeah, that was what I wanted to say. It's all about focusing on yourself and your spiritual process for the next 6 months, and then we'll see where it goes from there. And I'll be sharing my journey with you. And just to start that off, I just wanted to say that it's been ridiculous how how I've been very, very, very keen to date somebody else. I've been thwarted by the universe in every single attempt since coming back from Japan. So there were three people that I was meant to meet up with, and it's 1919 as I say that, and I look at my phone. 3 people I was meant to meet up with. One guy was like, someone who my twin, for some reason, a friend of mine who my twin is extremely jealous of for some reason. This guy was like, hey, do you want an adventure? And invited me to go to Israel on a little holiday. Someone who I have so much respect for, and I think there's always been a bit of an underlying chemistry, and but we've always been with other people when we've kind of hung out. He's a good friend of mine, I have a lot of respect for him. Anyway, it didn't work out because I didn't have enough pages in my passport and I couldn't go. I didn't have any pages in my passport, so I couldn't go. And then there was someone who, you know, ticked a lot of the practical boxes that I kind of was, went on a few dates with before I went to Japan the first time, well, this time around. And, you know, we couldn't meet up because, you know, he was going away on business, and the schedules didn't meet up, even though, you know, we tried. And also my social schedule was busy because of family as well, so couldn't meet up. And then there was another guy who literally is just absolutely, literally stunning. I've never met him, but again, since before I've been going to Japan, we were trying to meet up. Literally tall, dark, handsome Indian origin, and really super successful. And I was like, oh my god, really want to meet this guy. He really wants to meet me. It didn't work out again because of travel schedules, to the point where this guy was like, where are you going to be on, you know, what time is your flight? I'll come and meet you at the airport because I'm going to go see friends off. And he, you know, I got this message late. I was already on the plane when I got it, but he sent me the message when I was already at the airport. But he arrived at the airport with his friends an hour after my flight left. But it was like, it's just not meant to be in terms of meeting up with them. And then obviously on the course, like, relationships are completely and utterly banned. And if they, you know, if anyone is discovered doing that, both people will get, you know, disciplined and, you know, like, spoken to and asked to leave the course. Because again, and I don't want to think about that while I'm here. It's completely and utterly about spirituality, like absolutely nothing else, and spirituality alone for me. So I wanted to share that because I thought it was quite funny. Last thing I wanted to share was a frog keeps coming into my room, my roommate's room. My roommate's lovely, by the way. But it's really funny because this frog just turns up every single day. It looks like it's the same frog as well. And I mentioned this to one of my fellow, you know, colleagues, and she was basically like, oh, maybe frogs with you, you know, with Sadhguru, he's always surrounded by snakes. A lot of snakes, because they're so sensitive and they really love spiritual energies. They tend to, like, congregate around spiritual people. And these people never get, you know, sages and really established yogis and realized beings, etc., etc. But they never get bitten because the snakes can, you know, they're in harmony with them, basically. And so this girl was basically like, so maybe frogs are like that with you, you're like that with frogs. And I laughed because obviously it was a joke, but then I was like, yeah, maybe you're onto something, because I seem to keep kissing, I keep kissing frogs, basically. And she was like, yeah, well, maybe you should kiss this one. I was like, where's the prince? It never turns into a prince. And she was like, maybe you should kiss this one and it'll turn into a prince. And I felt like it was a metaphor for something, but I don't know what. Anyway, so that's what's going on with me. I've really got to run now because I am, my class starts in a little while and I have to do my practices. Anyway, lots of love to all of you. I hope you can understand about the twin flame readings, and I'll try and do some updates if I can, but it's going to be about yoga. So please, if you're on this channel, focus on the spiritual practices. Do stay in touch, because, you know, you listening to this, I'm at a very, very, very special place. And actually the good vibes are still, trust me, they will reach you somehow. And this is a tenuous link, I know, but I'm going to be doing some prayers and stuff for subscribers. I'm probably not going to tell you about them, but they will be done when I'm at, like, the temples and stuff here. I'll be thinking about all you guys, and I'm just going to do it as people who have subscribed, just because that's the quickest and easiest way to do it, and I think that that's the strongest link at the moment. So please do stay in touch, and please be aware and understanding if you do send me a message, or, you know, a text, or a comment, a like, subscribe, whatever. I really appreciate them. Emails especially as well, and I'm not going to be able to respond just in terms of time. I'm prioritizing making these messages because they reach more people, but please do be understanding, and I will get back to everybody once I'm back in the UK. Promise to do that. So thank you for your patience, and thank you for your continued support and love and everything as well. So much love to you guys, and I will be back a bit later. Bye.